Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of the Comfy Synth Review. Many flowers bloomed, and new Comfy Synth projects are popping up left and right on Bandcamp. But what's even more impressive is how creative and ambitious this little genre is getting. The comfy projects in this list are bringing us far from the cottage, and into new and uncharted territory. In this episode I will share my favorite Comfy Synth releases of May 2023. Remember to stick around until the end, where I will talk about my favorite album of the month. So, without further ado, let's start the Comfy Synth review. Gnometopia by Eldergleam. A harp, a round bass sound, and a flute melody. This simple recipe for some moving and melancholic synth music will surely capture your heart. Right from the beginning, we are transported to a wholesome and quiet RPG world. Every track could easily be the hometown theme of a video game. But there is a sadness lingering in between these gentle melodies. This makes me think that it is not the music you would get at the start of the game, but rather at the ending, when you return to the village. Your adventure has changed you, after you went through so much hardships, lost some friends, and met more friends along the way. You are now back to your starting point, and, as you stand once again in the familiar surroundings, there is a discernible difference in the air. I believe everyone has experienced a feeling like this in life. This album will make you visit that internal place, and will give you some comfort. After all, isn't it what Comfy Synth is all about? The Sword on the Edge of Forever, by Desmond Disciple. Hailing from Baltimore, Desmond Disciple brings forth an EP of mellow and comfy background music. With his strange and hypnotic note patterns on top of a drony synth, Desmond Disciple captures a unique kind of magic. It reminded me of the background music on classic TV shows, or golden-era Hollywood movies. I'm talking about the music that would play whenever something mysterious or menacing would happen. There is something so strangely relaxing about this, and I think it's because it evokes the coziness of watching an old movie. The artist explains in the release notes that this album was inspired by an episode of Star Trek. I am not very well versed in Star Trek lore, but there is for sure a cosmic atmosphere to some of these tracks. Don't miss out on the unusual feeling this album provides. A Marvel of Color and Beauty, by Botanic Vendor. Any florist will tell you, the key to creating a beautiful flower bouquet lies in a combination of careful selection, balance, and attention to detail. The Botanic Vendor already knows all of this. Each of his organic synthesizers are perfectly assorted and mixed together. This is actually a side project from Cleta Max, a prolific comfy synth virtuoso who has given us countless chaotic and joyful albums. On this new release, he chose to explore more grounded compositions. I love the pace of this album. It's slow-moving, but it has an epic and mysterious aura. The sound textures are delicate, they conjure images of the forest. It's as if you could smell the fragrance of eucalyptus. It's a fantastic piece of music that honors the promise of its title, and it deserves its spot on this list. Plus, this artist always uses great artworks for his releases, and indeed, this one has my favorite album art of the month. La Foca Imbalsamata, by Ulisse Mazzagatti. The comfy synth maestro from Italy is back with his signature blend of electronic and cozy neoclassical music. When you hear these counterpoint arpeggios on these Moog synthesizers, it's like you are instantly in a fantasy movie that was made in the 70s. It's such a singular atmosphere, which Ulisay controls with exceptional talent. Comfiness flows out of every note. I particularly love when Ulisay makes his music more disjointed and experimental. For instance, the composition on track 1 feels joyfully messy, almost improvised. On track 2, he switches a rhythm box on and off, adding more intrigue and unexpectedness on his delightful compositions. There is plenty of magic on this release. A beautiful addition to Ulisay's discography. Arcanum Arcanorum Animalis, by Feth. UK-based project Feth strikes again with another superb release. With a skillful blend of melodious grooves and intense cacophony, Feth slowly builds up a dense and complex dungeon synth. The music is always evolving through the 4 acts that structure this album. It's continuously going through unexpected metamorphosis, while giving birth to some truly wonderful sound textures. I can easily picture the artist collecting broken synths, toy pianos and cheap organ synthesizers in an imaginary studio. This particular EP stands out as one of the project's most accomplished works. So don't forget to grab this gem on Bandcamp. It's always a pleasure to visit the insane musical world of Feth. Memories, by Axis Tapes. Curious and adventurous listeners, this LP is for you. It's one of these albums that come from outside the dungeon and comfy synth movement, and landed on Bandcamp under the Comfy Synth hashtag. Still, this is comfy synth of the highest caliber. Here, you will find no wizards, dwarves, or other woodland creatures, but a magical mix of chiptune and glitchy ambient music. It's an emotional and soothing collection of songs, which will show you the way back to a time long gone. It will lead you to a world that exists within, where pixels are the building blocks, and where you never know what is hiding under the tall grass. In short, a magical place where you can mine memories. This is an album to cherish. Thank you, Axis Tapes. I am curious to see if you have more comfy music in store for us. Visions of Nayaku the Plowman, by Yak Do. Yak Do's first LP has emerged from the Himalayas, and made its presence known on the Bandcamp platform. Behind its quirky album artwork, this is a treasure of poetic, dark and mystical ambient music. One track feels like you are taking a quiet walk in a forest after rainfall. On another, it's like you are pulled through the fabric of space and time. As for the ultimate destination, it's simply truth. Just like colors on a painter's palette, Yak Do combines sounds to capture a certain mood. Field recordings are also part of the journey. Bird chirping sounds and crackling audio samples elevate the listener's experience. But the album is dominated by its cold and affected synth pads, casting a dark shadow on the music and instilling a soft sadness throughout. Some parts of it reminded me of the Twin Peaks soundtrack. It has that same soothing, yet intense and deep atmosphere. It's truly a beautiful ambient album. The Golden Night, by Casio Tomb. Here's another outstanding release from Italian label Heimat der Katastrophe. It's a brightly colored and fun LP, signed by electronica artist Casio Tomb. Right from the start of the album, you can tell the artist is having a lot of fun creating a soundtrack to a 1939 medieval comic book titled The Golden Knight. Each song invokes the spirits of retro gaming in the most epic explosion of chiptune dungeon music. After a grandiose introduction, the LP alternates between ominous dungeon synth and upbeat fantasy soundtrack, with synthesizer phrases as sharp as a legendary sword. It's the occasional drum beats that will bewilder most listeners. With their clumsy and unconventional grooves, they feel a bit out of place in this battle of synths, but in the most endearing way. It creates the impression that you just stumbled upon an amazingly weird music album from the 80s, in a dusty attic. All in all, this is a very strong release, and an essential album for lovers of epic dungeon chip music. Assorted Potions 3, by Assorted Potions. Here are some new musical spells from the Thread Mage, who has been a very active member of the new wave of comfy synth. With 5 excellent tracks, Assorted Potions is adding a memorable chapter to its hero's journey. This is an artist that embraces eclecticism and the mixing of genres. And you can really hear this on this release. There is a great variety of styles here, yet the whimsical and fantasy sound, which has been the core of the project's identity, is definitely there. The Mage has traded his signature Mellotron synth for an ethereal chime-like synthesizer, reminiscent of the RuneScape soundtrack. What you are hearing now is perhaps my favorite track of the month, and it's titled, Gather Round, for the Bard's Tale Begins. It's a beautifully crafted comfy tune. Slumbering Sounds of the Frog Fellowship, by Frog Concert. And this, my friends, is my favorite album of the month. Frog Concert delivers a lovely oddity of an album. It's very dense and detailed. The organ performance is the backbone of the album. It distills a wonderful Baroque atmosphere straight from medieval times. The compositions are as solid as it gets, but they are delightfully covered with muddy webbed footprints. In other words, expect croaking voices and other audio snippets from the swamp, resulting in a beautifully chaotic album. What else did you expect from these lovely amphibians? The last track is a stunning piece of Baroque music, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was shamelessly borrowed from Bach or another Baroque composer. These little frogs are completely insane, but they sure know how to make fantastic comfy synth. That's all for today. Thank you to all comfy synth artists. I love listening to your music. Keep going. Make it weirder, more ambitious, with fascinating backstories and beautiful album art. What was your favorite album this month? Remember to leave a comment and let me know. I will be back next month for another comfy synth review. As always, remember to support your favorite artists on Bandcamp. Good night.